All right, ladies and gentlemen, starts at 2 o'clock. I appreciate everybody showing up for the SPLOST 9 work session. It's supposed to go 2 to 4, but I don't know if we're going to carry it all the way to 4 o'clock. It depends. Madam Administrator, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. We will start back on our discussion for SPLOST 9. At our previous, just to give you a reminder of the timeline for May 19th, again, for us to meet that deadline, we have to have a final SPLOST list approved by January 6th. Then we have to have our intergovernmental agreements approved between us and Blythe and Hetzeba. We would also have to have the resolution approved by January 27th. By February the 9th, we would have the Board of Elections issue a call of election, and it will be on the May 19th ballot. With that being said, we will go into what we looked at last. We have added those respective items that we discussed at the previous meeting. The request that came in from the Sheriff's Office, it seemed that there was a consensus to proceed with those. So we have added those to this. It was also a consensus, I think, for the addition of May Park, $5 million. So we've added that as well. So the items that were consented at our last meeting have been added to this total, which gives us roughly a $463 million total.
With that $463 million, how many years is that?
We're talking about a little over around 7 years or so, depending on collection.
That's scary. Thank you.
You're welcome. So if we have any questions, any recommendations, any deletions, additions, we open the floor to the governing body.
So this is the max that this SPLOST is going to be at this time. And so the only thing we could do is to reduce our exposure as far as timeline is to nibble away at things is what the...
Yes, sir. If you wanted to decrease the number of years, you would have to do a reduction in the funding amount. So you'd have to set a threshold, and that meets that requirement that you're looking for.
Madam Administrator, my concern is that the unforeseen circumstance that, let's say the utilities department, we got aging infrastructure within all the plants that we do have without a funding mechanism, which especially during this Helene, within the 3 pumps, 2 of them completely went out. I think they only got 2 up and running. So if we ever have another storm within the next 7 years, we have no funding source. We got to be prepared for the unforeseen. I've always admired Fred Russell's mindset when he put money aside in emergency funding, no different than when we had the ice storm, and you was actually the one that took control of that, and I appreciate your leadership on that one. So the other side of the coin is we got new commissioners that just came in this year. So the next time that a SPLOST is done, if we go any higher, they would never have an opportunity to do another SPLOST. So everybody that's going to do the SPLOST on the next package, it's all going to be new people. They will have no experience whatsoever on how the practice and procedures done and what's the proper way of doing it. I mean, we're going to have people retiring within our government within the next 7 years before, 7 years is up. And I just want to try to make sure that we have a clear understanding. At least we need to give the commissioners newly elect an opportunity again to be able to do the next SPLOST and actually hit the things that's actually needed. Everything in this package so far, there might be some things we could cut, but most of it's needs. And that's what I appreciate. Any projects that we do have in here, it's enough money from start to finish. It's no longer like what we had in the past SPLOST, where we take let's say if a project costs $20 million, we only figured $5 million, and we hope in the next SPLOST, another $5 million, next SPLOST another 5, and so on. But every time a SPLOST comes up, you'll have new commissioners, new ideas, new administration, and the whole concept and the foresee to have that project done goes away. But with this package, everything's start to finish, and I appreciate your leadership making sure that whatever we put in here, it was done that way. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. Proceed.
And so we're asking for any input, any modifications to what we're looking at. If there is a change in the respective threshold, if you don't want it to be the 460 million, if you want to, of course, increase or decrease that amount, that will again determine the amount of time it would take. And it's an estimated amount of time because, you know, it depends on the actual collections during that year. But we normally, I think it's around 60 million a year that's actually accumulated. Then you have to add you know, where it increases a certain percentage per year. But it's all going to be dependent upon the collection rate.
All right.
Number of years.
I have Ms. Slindeck Commissioner Slindeck in the queue. Ms. Slindeck.
Thank you, Mr. Guilfoyle. Ms. Allen, so the SPLOST usually they run in 4-year cycles, is that correct?
Normally 4 years, I think 5.
They're 5-year cycles? Okay. So what figure would we need to get it to for 5 years?
So to get us to around 5, it'd be like 350 million.
350, okay. Okay, and I'm not sure if there is, this report's out, and I didn't get it, or more than likely misplaced it, knowing my life right now, but is there a list of past SPLOST projects and the ones that were completed, or if there's money left in any of those? Is that been done?
We have that available.
Oh, okay.
We have that on the website as well, because we had a lot of questions about that, Commissioner Slindeck.
Okay.
About what have we done with the past SPLOST. So we do have 7 and 8 that's available, and it identifies each project.
Oh, okay.
And what was allocated and the remaining amount.
Okay, I'll check that. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, do y'all want to go from section to section, from public safety, quality of life? How does that sound? All right, Madam Administrator, let's start off on public safety.
All right.
Top of the line. That's that sheet right there.
Oh, you just want to go to the summation part. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I thought
ma'am.
You wanted to go to each individual item. I'm sorry. All right.
So we got $128,690,000 set aside in this package for SPLOST package for public safety. We got $21,800,000 for the fire department. What is that for? 3?
Yes. Fire department, we will go, these are the respective requests for the fire department. Sorry, I know and Chief is here to address any concerns.
So, Chief, would you be kind enough to come up?
Yes, sir.
So, give me a description of this $21,800,000. Does that include any fire trucks, any?
The majority of that is fire trucks, 15 million for fire trucks and 1 station.
All right. As far as the, in the past, what we have done before Helene hit, and probably during when Helene was here, we actually, where you had your department, we had how many fire trucks totaled?
2.
And that was paid through our general fund?
No, sir. No, sir. The general fund does not support the fire fund. As
Okay.
you know, fire fund is completely self-sufficient.
All right, as far as what you have in your accounts now, can you reduce the exposure from 21 million down?
Well, we
To where
have,
you-
so as you know, Commissioner, initially, fire trucks were left out of this current SPLOST. We had no funding mechanism for fire trucks, and so we've had to work through our fire fund to try to maintain pace and replace apparatus. We submitted a number that would cover us through the next SPLOST, with SPLOST being the only funding source for fire trucks.
Right.
And so what you have now is a reduced amount of money that we've asked for the next SPLOST. So initially, that ask was a lot higher.
Right.
Based on a replacement plan that we have in the department, but it has been reduced.
Right. Just a question, because I was not here. Public safety and infrastructure should have been priority. Why wasn't it put on? Did you request? Was that somebody overlooked it, or?
That's a great question, Commissioner. That predates my tenure.
Okay.
So not sure why, but we've had to use our general fund, our fire fund, in a sense, to try to keep up, and it's been taxing on the department.
Okay. Anybody have any, Mr. Wembley? I'm sorry, Ms. Pulliam first, and then Mr. Wembley.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Guilfoyle. Hi, Chief. How are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
I see that there's land for new stations listed 3 times. So is that 3 lots, 3 separate lots?
In the event that
parcels.
in the event that the station has to be moved, there's also funds in there for that procurement of land.
Okay, so you're assuming that each plot is going, or each parcel is going to be 400,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally, yes.
Okay, would that just be for the land only? That would not be for the actual building of it,
That would
correct?
just
Because
be
that would
if-
be the,
Yes, ma'am. If the need should arise to procure land for a new fire station, then that's what that's for.
okay.
It's
And-
encompassing of the actual total.
Okay. Yes, sir. And so the new station, that's what you're saying would actually be the cost of the building, the 6 million for each one, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
about 64 is 6.4 million is about what we're looking at for each one. What's the life expectancy for 9, 13, and 14? Where are we at for all of those?
Generally, the life expectancy for a fire station is 50 years.
50?
50 years. We're
Okay.
above that. Station 9, I think, is 58 years old. 54 years old for Station 13, and I think Station 14 is over 44 years old. So
Over
we're
40.
well past their shelf life, and it is a critical need for us.
Okay.
But the current projected only included 1 fire station,
Okay.
down from the 3 that we recommended.
Okay. So in order of priority, we would definitely say that Station 9 for sure, and then 13, but you're stating all 3 because of the length of time it's going to take for us to actually collect on it, correct? Because,
Those 3 are identified based on their current condition.
okay,
They're in need of replacing. They're significant age. I mean, years of service is one thing, but the use of the facility is quite another.
okay,
And Station 9 and Station 13 are our busiest fire stations.
okay. Yes, sir. Thank you for that explanation. Last question. Can you tell me what the minibus for training, what that is?
So some of those ancillary projections we've taken out. There's no need for those. We've been able to.
Okay, and I see where that was removed.
Yes.
Okay. So everything under revised request was actually removed, so that's like that whole middle section. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Wembley?
Just orientate me to those fire stations. The one on Walton Way Extension, that's 9, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
About to fall apart, right?
We have many needs in terms of our infrastructure, yes.
I got it. Just say yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 13 is that's the old Waynesboro Road?
Yes, sir. Station 13,
I believe it's old Waynesboro.
Lumpkin Road.
Lumpkin, oh, okay. Yeah, just as bad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to keep from going through all 3 of these right here that you have down for land acquisition, how many stations would you say you need now, and how many apparatus trucks you need?
So in your package, you'll see
Not in my package, how many you,
total. So we project out based on a replacement plan for apparatus.
got it.
We project out the need for replacement. We've had certain part of our fleet that really need to move a little faster into replacement. But we project that out based on, again, the replacement plan. We look at maintenance, use, all of those things to incorporate in our plan to replace.
So we were waiting now for another, 7 years, 6 years? And we waiting for another 6 years. How far would you be back in the hole?
Not having full funding for all of the apparatus puts us kind of in the situation we're in now, quite
A worse
honestly.
situation, right?
We need replacement. We need a sustainable plan
Okay.
to carry us into the future.
So looking at this SPLOST here, do you think that we need to rethink what is allocated to you to get stationed and get apparatus?
Oh, yes, sir, most
Okay.
definitely.
Thank you.
You know, these were not just wants, they were actual needs for our department.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wimberly. All right. Chief, we definitely appreciate you answering every question and giving us some insight.
Sure, thank you, sir.
And we appreciate that you only focusing on the needs of, your department. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, sir, and I'll be happy to take you all on a tour anytime you're available, please.
I want to ride on one of them fire trucks.
We can get you certified. Thank you, sir.
I'll probably get a raise then. All right. Madam Administrator.
Yes, sir. And if I could just remind everybody too, as you can see on your first page of the document, we started off with $1 billion worth of requests. And that's with it, without any respective adjustments in the very beginning and any additions. We went down to 720 million, and now we're at 463 million.
Can you put your page up so everybody can see that?
So this actually shows where we started.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we're now at the $463 million. So as Chief has stated, fire department was not included in the last SPLOST project. And that's why his needs are so heavy at this time, because it was not included. And a couple other departments were not included in the last SPLOST, during the previous time that it was submitted for SPLOST 8. So, of course, unfortunately, we don't have enough money to do any of them, all of their requests, because if we did, we know that that would be one of the, public safety is one of the major ones that we need to make sure we have everything for. But on that last column, you'll see with the updated since November 26.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you turn to the second page, you'll see the same thing. Those are the ones that are included in their packet. So you'll see for the fire department, we're looking at 1 new replacement station and 18 engines, which gives us the 21,800,000.
Yes, ma'am. Third line over.
Yes. So that's the column. Everything else is things that he did ask for, and I wouldn't doubt that he definitely needs. But
Right.
that's, based on the reductions and conversations and reviews, those are the things that we finally ended up with.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Next item, we're going to have fleet at the tune of $3,890,000. What is that for? Y'all wanted, I'm sorry?
Here are the fleet numbers, sir.
It just shows project. No, I'm sorry. Fleet.
District Attorney, Marshal Officer.
Are these vehicles allowance?
Yes, sir, these are vehicles. Vehicle replacements, and they're in accordance to the actual policy that's in place now for replacements.
And we just purchased approximately $2 million worth of vehicles within this past month. Is that correct?
I'm not sure of the respective total, but we did have various purchases made. Some were out of SPLOST. In most cases, they were in SPLOST because
Right.
most of the funds come out of SPLOST for the replacement vehicles.
Kim, before our next meeting, any kind of changes we do, we just put on a line item. That way the governing body altogether could vote which direction they want to go. But let's look at these different line items to find out, since we already replaced the vehicles this year, how many, to make sure that it coincides, that it's just not more of a want than a need,
Okay, so we do have their replacement schedule
Okay.
according, and if you can. I can.
1, 2, 3, 4. How many years is that showing on that, the right-hand side, Natasha? I see year 4, year 5, year 6, years.
So that's saying how many vehicles will be replaced each of those years during the SPLOST period.
Right, and if we get this package down to 5 years, the need won't be as much, is that correct? I'm asking. All right, I do have 2 of my colleagues in the queue, Commissioner Wimberly.
No. Yeah, sorry about that.
All right, Commissioner Pulliam from the second.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. My question was somewhat in line with Mayor Pro Tem's. Is it standard for, what is the standard for each department as it pertains to having vehicles? Should they be in each SPLOST just because we're planning for that? And if so, what would the number and the amount be, so we know what's normal, so to speak?
So it's because they're capital projects and we don't have enough funding in our capital budget, you have to utilize SPLOST. And that's common for everybody, other agencies, municipalities. What they're basing this on is the actual replacement policy that's governed and approved by the governing body as to the replacement every certain mileage, certain number of years we've had the vehicle, depending on whether it's in public safety or if it's outside of public safety, that determines the amount of years we keep the vehicle before we actually replace it.
Okay, and so who's,
So central
fleet
services.
management
yes.
was, okay, that's what I was going to say. It was under central
It's not that the
services.
departments have done this.
Okay.
The central services has developed this based on the needs.
Okay, so with central service checking over these numbers based off of what I'm seeing right in front of me now and previous SPLOST packages, are all of these numbers for fleet in line with, I keep saying standard, but you know, what standard? Are we out of line? Did someone ask for 3 more vehicles that they shouldn't have asked for?
I am not familiar with anybody asking for more than what they were getting. And I'd have to have fleet, I don't think they are here. Central Services is not here to get
Okay.
that level of detail, but.
Okay, if we could get that question answered, just to make sure that if a department, I'm not going to call out any department, but if a department asked for 5 vehicles, but they really should have only asked for 3, does that make sense? Yeah, I'd like to know that. And then also, earlier, just a few minutes ago, you made a comment, because I know the fire department was not included in the previous SPLOST package, but you also said there were other departments. Can you just tell us that before we go through the rest of this, what departments were not included in the previous SPLOST package?
The other department was information technology.
Okay, so IT and the fire department are the only 2 departments that were not included in the last SPLOST package?
Yeah, I could say yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Marshall wasn't either.
Marshall. The marshal as well.
the marshal, okay. So those 3 departments were not included in SPLOST 8, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All right.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Pulliam. One thing I would like for us to do is become consistent. You know, we have a sheriff's department that utilizes the vehicle to 200,000 miles. We have all the other departments coming before us at 125,000. You know, the way I look at it, you know, we got people driving around in SUVs, driving better cars than most of your taxpayers that's funding it. They driving, getting new vehicles, I mean, every year. We just need to be conscious enough to know that, hey, if we could go 150, 175,000, 200,000 miles on a vehicle, you know, let's try to extend it. And what that does is it lessens the burden on the taxpayer as well. And plus it gives us the longevity of having money in the bank to where when we do need it, it's there. Instead of, you know, just because I got money in my pocket, I'm not going to spend it. The next department we have is the sheriff's department. And we got that at tune of $103 million.
Yes, sir.
All right, so would you elaborate on this one?
And we have Chief Blanchard here as well to
Okay.
give some information. Chief, do you want to?
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. It's funny we discussed this because I just received an email from Fleet, and I receive one of these approximately every 2 weeks. Good morning, Chief. We have asset number 215119, a 2016 Chevy Impala in the shop for repairs again. The parts to repair the AC and heat are no longer available. They're obsolete. Dealer parts only. Do you wish to continue to use this vehicle, or do you wish to dispose of? That's what we're driving at the sheriff's office. So 1.3 million, and I don't have it with me, 1.3 million divided by approximately 65,000. That's what we spend per vehicle for lights, sirens, and the car itself.
Right.
Gets us about 35, I would say. In order for us to get to that 200,000 mark, which is our goal, where we're swapping them out every 5 years or 200,000 miles, we need what the SPLOST was approved, you know, a couple of weeks ago. We need the $3 million per year is basically what it comes to. And then that'll get our fleet back to where we need to be. There are other alternatives that we've talked about with finance and Maddie Sue and stuff. There's pros and cons to both, such as financing vehicles. It's great up front, but it really kills you at the end. So we're not in favor of it. But you know, we just do want you to understand that we have explored multiple options as to what we can do. For our unmarked cars, the people that aren't in pursuits and things like that, we've teamed up with Fleet to go to the lowest prices that we can find. So we've gone with the inexpensive Ford Explorer, the $33,000 model. We've bought some trucks recently that are not as expensive, but we've got, in the trucks, we've got four-wheel drive on most of them. So when we do have emergencies and things of that nature, or we have ice storms or hurricanes, we can do more work to help the public. So we're doing everything we can. We've also written some grants. We've gotten in a few vehicles for free. We had the commission approve one last week where we got another one free for our drones. But that's kind of where we are as far as our vehicles.
What is your question? It came up a couple weeks ago. It came up again today during my conversation with somebody. What is the policy set aside for officers driving vehicles home? What's the distance from Augusta can they be driven?
I believe we're at 18 miles right now. I'd have to double check it, but I believe we allow 18 miles outside of the county.
Okay. Thank you. And that's all right. That'd be another question after.
I'll say this, it's between 12 and 18. I can't remember exactly where we are right this minute.
Okay. Anybody have District 1, Commissioner Johnson? Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Chief, good to see you again.
Hey, Commissioner.
So is this 18 million, is this for replacing of old vehicles, or are you hoping to use this money to acquire new vehicles as well?
So it's new vehicles to replace old vehicles. It's not that we need more vehicles in our fleet,
So
if that makes sense. And with one caveat, we might be 5 or 6 short, but the goal isn't to go out and buy new vehicles to add into our fleet. The goal is to replace the vehicles that we have.
Okay.
Or that we're missing. So, I mean, look, we're guilty too, to be honest with you. We've wrecked, I think, 20 vehicles this year. We have very strict policies. We suspend them for multiple days. We take away their car privileges. We do this, we do that. We go stricter than what risk management is. But we do have multiple vehicles on the road 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in stressful situations. And some of those crashes do have very extenuating circumstances. But no, it's not to get a bunch of new vehicles or anything like that. It's to replace existing vehicles.
Were there any vehicle cost allocations in your proposed budget ask for this year, for next year?
To purchase vehicles?
Yes.
No, we don't put vehicles in the budget, no, sir.
Nothing in the budget for vehicle?
No, sir. The vehicle costs are to repair our vehicles, which is required by fleet. So I think we had 800,000 in our budget, but that's just oil changes and all kinds of normal stuff.
So preventative maintenance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Are we prepared to move off of the fleet conversation to any sheriff's office line item, or we're just on fleet right now?
We've still got some people in the queue.
Okay, I'll hold.
We got Commissioner from the 2nd, Ms. Pulliam.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you for being here today, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
How many of those vehicles would be extra vehicles in case something happens to one of the vehicles?
So it's a tough question to answer simply because it depends on where we are with employees. Mm-hmm. So for example, if we have 400 employees and we're fully staffed, then we have very few extra vehicles. Otherwise, we do have approximately 2 per shift, or 2 per division, 2 per division, where we try to keep spares. And then we have a few extra vehicles that are used at the training range, but those are our oldest vehicles. We basically take them off of maintenance and everything and keep them out there. Bless you.
Thank you.
And then we have to have vehicles as well for when they are getting preventive maintenance and things like that to drive as well. We do also have, without getting into too much, we do also have a few vehicles that are unmarked, and they are typically used for undercover operations and things of that nature. However, most of those are purchased with drug seizure funds versus county funds. We were so short on vehicles this year that I believe we spent a few $100,000 of our drug seizure funds to add police vehicles to our fleet.
Okay. So out of the extra vehicles, I'm just calling them extra, I don't know if there's another, okay. Out of the extra vehicles that you do have, what's the total amount? Do you know?
As far as if they're sitting there right this moment not being driven, there's none if we were fully staffed.
Okay. And so the likelihood of you being fully staffed?
So we are sending 18 to Academy this year, or 17 this next month, and we have many others slated to go. And based on the cuts of 52 positions from last year and where we are, we anticipate being fully staffed within the next year or so. Absolutely. We hope if we continue the way we are doing right this moment, when I say fully staffed, we're saying fully staffed at 650, not 800, where we used to be. But we should be up to the 650 number this year.
Okay, and that 650 included, I'm not looking at that paper right now.
And when I say 650, I apologize. It's like 654 or something like that. I'm giving you roundabout numbers because I'm not looking at a spreadsheet.
Yes, sir. So I remember on our budget sheet, there were 30 patrol officers that were going to be removed, or I'm not sure exactly how that plays in. Would that be included in your 654?
You mean you're cutting 30? You mean we're cutting 30
Yes.
positions this
Yes,
year?
sir. Yes, sir. Administrator Allen may be able to answer that, or whoever can answer that. I'm trying to make sure that the numbers balance with that 30 that's being, you see what I'm saying? Because if that's 30
I
people.
understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
I can say it or not.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Go ahead.
The 30 positions are being defunded from general fund funding, and then the sheriff's department has received a grant. So once those positions are defunded from the general fund, the grant is to be accepted and those positions be funded again. So we're just flipping the funding source.
Understood. Okay, so the grant is going to now pay for the 30 officer positions that we were quote unquote defunding, but now there's a grant that's going to now sustain those positions throughout the life of the positions.
For 3 years.
For 3 years. Okay. So then after the 3 years, we'll need to look again at our budget and fleet, unless we get another grant.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for bringing clarity to that, because I had no idea that's what was going on.
So there's a couple of things. The reason we haven't addressed it yet, because that was supposed to be scheduled for the December 2nd meeting, and the sheriff wanted to be the one to announce that he was received an $8.7 million grant.
Awesome. That's phenomenal.
Which will cover 30 positions for the next 3 years. I didn't want it to be me. It was he did the work, so he deserves the credit. We anticipated that, based on conversations with the county administrator, that we were going to be short again this year. The sheriff gave up 52 positions last year on hold. He was willing to give up another 30, but worked hard to get the grant. That grant will help y'all or us for the next 3 years. But as we said to Commissioner Garrett the other day, this sheriff's office can't be without 30 positions or any more. I mean, it's just given up everything that it can give up. So to answer your question, which I promise I wasn't trying to avoid, I just wasn't sure what I was supposed to say or not supposed to say.
Absolutely.
That the vehicles that we're allocating do include covering those 30 positions.
Okay. So, got it. So for 3 years, we're good, and then I guess we'll have that
Correct,
discussion.
100% of salary and benefits.
Okay, we'll have that discussion later as far as forecasting past the 3 years, because I remember asking, and this is not directed to you, Chief, at all, but I remember asking, have we forecasted out past 2027, 28, 29, 30? So I'll go back to that conversation at a later time.
So basically what we've done at the sheriff's office, we've continued under the premise of what we were promised last year, which we put 52 positions on hold. And as we continue to get full, we'll come back to this board and say, we'd like to fill some of those positions. We know this is certainly not a year to do that.
Yes, sir.
And we'll go from there.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're prepared for what's coming and we're giving a clear depiction of everything. That's all.
Yes,
but I
ma'am.
do understand your reasoning. However, that information is very pertinent to not only SPLOST, but as we're discussing our budget sessions as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Ms. Pulliam. We got District 4 Commissioner Wimberly.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. On the renovation of the jail,
Yes, sir.
On the what?
Renovation of the detention center?
on that renovation, the $85 million, based off the SPLOST and the projected recovery time or the funds collection time, how long can you wait to do this renovation?
My understanding is that the commission will look to adopt a bond once the SPLOST is passed. And just so you know, it's $70 million to build. It's $15 million for immediate repairs that are needed at our facility, like yesterday. But we don't want to ask for money in the general fund for that. And those are not repairs, I apologize. Those are capital improvements that we're doing to the jail to bring it up to code.
Okay. And in order to get that done, we're gonna bond this.
I mean, I can't say that. That would be for
No,
this
that's the
body.
administrator behind the
governing
That's my
body.
understanding. That would be for the governing body to decide.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got Commissioner District 1 Johnson back in the queue.
Thank you.
And then
So
we'll have Ms. Scott afterward.
with the detention center renovation, is that for one pod or two?
288 beds, 2 pods.
2 pods. Okay, I know originally we were talking about 1 pod and how many, so 1 pod, so you only get, so with 2 pods, you get 200 and, say that again?
So.
Is it 200 pod, 280?
200, so the goal was 2 pods, 300 beds, regular building, brick and mortar. We found, along with the administrator, we went and toured different facilities. We were able to do it less expensive. I'm not going to say it's less secure, but we're not going to house our extremely violent inmates there. We're going to move our less violent inmates into those pods because we can do it that way. So for the 2 pods that are prefabbed and built, plus it gets us about a year quicker by doing it that way, we will be able to put 288 beds. And it also pays for all of the infrastructure that would have been cost whether you needed 1 pod or 2 pods. So if, for example, you were saying that it's $70,000 and you just want to put 1 pod, you were looking at still spending around $50 million versus cutting it in half because there's so many things that have to be done just to even put 1 more pod, whether that's the plumbing, the electrical, all the stuff that you can't add on to our existing building because it's outdated.
And so you said 200 and how many beds again?
288.
How overcrowded are you right now? How many overpopulation are you?
300. But, which is a true statement. However, you've been out there with us. So here's the catch about a jail, and I'll play with regular numbers. If you have 1,000, if you have a beds for 1,000, your average population should be around 850. And the reason that is because just because I have 26 beds in 1 pod doesn't mean I can put 26 people in there, because mental health, I might only have 12 mental health people, and that's all that can go in there. And then I've got sex offenders, and then I've got this gang and that gang, and I've got to keep them separated, which we're not able to do right at this moment, which is why we've increased our other issues within the jail.
Wow.
All right, and the last question on this: are you all going to be prepared? Well, let me ask you in this way: are there any operational expenses that you expect to increase as a result of the new pods that we're going to be?
That was placed within our document. What we did do, though, and Administrator Allen saw it, based on new designs and things of that nature, you're actually able to cut 1 employee out. And 1 employee in our line of business is actually 4.5 employees because it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, plus time off. So every time we say we need 1 employee, we really need 4.5. But the way our current jail is designed, in many areas, it takes 2 people to do the job that now, the way they're designed to overwatch, you can do it with 1, of course, technology and things of that nature. So we've done everything we can to bring it down as low as possible and still get near the 300 beds. We've gone with the prefab, we've gone with new design, just to do whatever we can to not only make sure that it's the least expensive to get where we need to be now, but also to keep those expenses down as much as possible in the future.
Okay. To finance or administration, what year are we expecting to see those increased operational costs impact our budget? Are we looking at 27, 28? What year should we be looking at?
Minimum will be once we start building the jail, which would be at least a year from now, it'd be 2 more years. So you're looking at 3 years almost.
Before we have to absorb any additional costs?
Exactly.
Okay.
We've talked enough, I guess he can read my mind.
She's been right there with us the whole time, and she's even gone through all the jails with us, so.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, we got District 4, Commissioner Wimberly back in the queue.
Mayor Pro Tem, this is for the administrator.
Yes.
Which other department are we deciding that we're going to issue bonds in order to raise the fund for?
So it really is going to be dependent upon this governing body and the rate that you want to get something done. And so this was one of the ones that we were considering, but of course, it comes before the governing body to determine that. It is not guaranteed that that's going to be.
So before I got here, this is not a done deal.
No, sir. No, sir. It has to come back before the governing body.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we have District 2 Commissioner Ms. Pulliam back in the queue.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem Guilfoyle. Just to piggyback, Chief, if I could direct this question to you, what's the life expectancy of the pods?
I do not know the answer to that. I apologize. So I'm not really as big a part of the jail committee as Major Huffman.
Okay.
I do know that some of the facilities that we have toured, once they are built, they are very similar in nature, except they don't have the concrete on the outside because they still do have concrete, and you kind of take the inserts and put them in. So I'm making an assumption that they're going to be, as long as you do regular upkeep, they're going to be very similar in nature, and Mr. Guilfoyle is agreeing with me. They're going to be very similar in nature because there are some around the state that have been there for 30 years, similar to a regular building.
Okay, so if we could just get that life expectancy, just
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
just for my own
Yep.
situational awareness. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like anything else we have in this world, from our cars to our houses to even our kids, you take care of them and they'll last forever.
Yes, sir.
Question. After this grant's up with these 30 positions, what happens to the 30 positions?
So there are 30 positions that we currently have right this moment.
Right.
Like I said, we gave up 52. We're giving up 30 more this year because we anticipated something coming, and we did everything that we could to run those business. By 4 years from now,
Right.
this commission will need to find that money.
Commissioner?
This commission will need to have the money on the fourth year,
All right.
or some commission.
All right. Thank you for answering all the questions. I don't think there's anybody else in the queue, but Mr. Lewis, thank you.
Yes, sir. The other thing is, depending on how we are, just so you know, the other thing is when we were in Burke County, we wrote some grants and got them again for an additional 3 years. So it really just depends on how the governing body is doing, how crime is doing. The sheriff is very big on grants. We're writing them constantly. So we have to plan for 3 years from now that you would be paying for it, but there could be a grant at that time that would pick up some or all of it. Thank you all. Have a great day. Appreciate all you do.
1 second, sir. We got District 3, Commissioner Smith Rice.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Trying to go back and talking about pods, as we know, 401 Walton Way was built back in, what, 19?
I'd have to Google it, but a long time ago.
It didn't last long, did it? Because then we had to go over and build the Charlie Webster. So we are hoping that these pods that are built will last a longer time, which we suspect that they will.
401, as most everybody on this board knows, was leaking from the roof the first year it was built.
It was shoddy.
I mean, I'm not trying to go back years and stuff like
Right,
that,
it was
but
in bad shape.
all of us need to understand that if we're paying outsiders to do the job, they do the right job, or we don't give them that last check.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, and I know y'all need new pods because I was out there and you definitely.
Tough,
need
yes,
them.
ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you
Chief.
very much.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Mr.
y'all.
Lewis. All right, Madam Administrator, one question about this fleet.
Yes, sir.
How come we don't have anything for utilities, anything for engineering, anything?
There's a
for-
separate, this is just for public safety.
Okay, we do have a separate line item for them. And speaking of fleet, anytime we buy a new vehicle, it's guaranteed, it's under warranty for 3 years, 36,000 miles. Do we capture that?
I would have to ask I think
Because
they
if
do.
we paying them to service a new vehicle that falls within the 36,000, miles, perfect example would probably be engineering, utilities, even our code enforcement that's out here. Instead of paying a management company to work on our vehicles, all we had to do is take it to, GMC, Ford, et cetera. and that's under warranty. That would probably be a good way of saving money. And plus, the other thing that I spoke to you about was that fuel.
Yes, sir.
Which that man never heard anything back. So.
Okay.
All right, let's go on down to the next one. Quality of life. We got $79,039,000 between the rec department and transit. Do we have just who would be the one to speak about it? Mr. Lanson or Ms. Williams?
Maybe a combination, Commissioner.
Right. Ms. Williams, was you the one who put this request together, or was it ICM working with you hand in hand?
We both were working together.
Okay, kind of give us a explanation what it entails, what it includes.
Okay, so our SPLOST includes all of the projects that you see here. We went through various locations and updates where we see that projects needed to be upgraded or add new. And so we had ISM to come and do a presentation that gave you the overall of how much that it will cost to do that, which was definitely the well over the amount that we have that's going to be suggested and updated. And so with that, we had facility revitalizations, we have capital improvements, we had very specific parks that we identified, such as May Park. We talked about the enhancements for our aquatics facilities. So your listings here is a variety of locations and park improvements that will need to be.
Can you kind of go into detail about this facility revitalization initiative? Tell me what that entails.
Okay, yes. So what we wanted to do is enhance the quality of life and the safety and any functions of any of our recreation and park facilities. So that covers any locations that we would need to
Is it
update.
to bring it up to ADA compliance? Is that what it's?
I mean, it's ADA, it's facility, it's cosmetics, if any structural damage.
Okay. And we got additional $5 million in for the South Augusta Water Park, where we already had $5 million for a seed money in here. What is that for?
Correct. That was a request that was to be added as additional monies because it was only $5 million at first from the last SPLOST. And so for the solicitation, I know that was asked to be done. So that $5 million will go to that, and then another $2 million because I guess we're going to kind of be a phased approach where we saw that more was needed.
I didn't understand that last statement.
We saw where more was needed than just the $5 million. So it was a request from the commission to add more.
Okay. Continue if you would.
Additional question?
Oh, no, he said continue.
All right, we got District 2, Commissioner Pulliam in a queue.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Director Williams, the $10 million for the new park and community center,
Yes.
can you go into detail about that, please?
Yeah, so that was the amount that was added to take the place of the location for Sue Reynolds, because that was an inquiry from the commission, and of course, several people came to talk about having an additional facility, a new facility. And so this amount was added for the community center and park in that area of the town.
Okay, so with us adding a new community center, the $9,682,000 that we have for revitalization, do we know for sure that that is going to cover each park and recreation center that we keep in our inventory?
It will not.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, because again, initially, with what we currently have in our inventory, we said that the 25 million would cover what we were working with our facility revitalization. And we're talking about not just adding a playground, we're talking about we're gonna do tennis courts, or we're gonna fix the structures and things like that. And so this amount, of course, was reduced, considering what we're gonna do in the parks for the future. And we just, it would have to probably be a phased approach on these areas because we were reduced based on the amount that we brought to you previously.
Okay. So I am of the belief, and I know this is just a discussion based upon what your requests are, but if we needed 25 million and we still have that 10 million, if we move that up, that's going to knock down or kind of eat away at that 25 million so that we can bring facilities up to code, all of the things that you named.
So the 10 million initially was not added when the 25 million was presented.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I understand that. I'm saying I am in support of taking that 10 million and putting it with that 9 million. So then we have 19 million, which will eat away at the 25 million you originally proposed. Okay. Because for me, it's take care of what you already have. And so that's very important because we do have facilities that are falling apart. We're constantly fixing roof leaks. We have flooding issues, all of those things. So I think we should definitely get a handle on, as we go back and revisit the divestment conversation that we had and continuously looking at the parks and community centers that we have, in my opinion, we owe it to our citizens to make sure that they are in safe facilities before we go and build a new one. So this is just, again, me, I would like to see that 10 million move up to the 9 million so that we can take care of what we already have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Pulliam. We got District 7, Ms. Slindeck, Commissioner Slindeck.
Thank you, Mr. Guilfoyle. Couple of questions here. The aquatic facilities improvements, can you briefly tell me what that entails?
Yeah, so this is improvements that we listed at our aquatics center, at Henry Brigham Swim, Jones Pool, Fleming Pool, and then our existing splash pads. And we had plans to maybe add an additional splash pads in underserved areas. So that amount would cover those water amenities that we have.
That $7,067,000, that's going to cover all of that. That's what you're saying. It's going to include, because I look at aquatics facility, so it's not just the aquatic center, it's anything with water in it, basically.
Yes.
And the Jones Pool, you said was?
Yes, Jones Pool was included in it as well.
And that was like 3 million, wasn't that? For Jones Pool only? Isn't that what y'all had budgeted?
Okay, yeah, he's confirmed it's about 3 million.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Hey.
With what you see in the column there, as she stated previously, and you look at the amount that was requested, and so if you look at the updated amount, all those line items were actually reduced. So would it fully cover everything in one set or one phase of SPLOST? No. So when you look at that, normally when you see, and that's probably why you see some of that stuff in engineering, you have, excuse me, you have to do a phase approach, which means that you fund some of the project, and let's just say SPLOST 9, but you would have to fund some of the project in another SPLOST, let's just say 10 or 11. So for the most part, but what you see in these columns right here, these are not what you would say fully funded. So just to kind of.
So like Jones Pool, which has not been operational for a couple of years now due to vandalism and whatever. So you're saying, I mean, it may be another SPLOST before anything is done to that?
You may have to, you can look at it from several, different, you can have different alternatives. You may want to do, maybe the funds that you have may be able to do only one or two. Or you may be able to do something on each one of those pools. So there's different alternatives that you can do. Different scenarios you can do in those cases. But to fund everything at one time, no. I mean, not with the dollar amounts that you have there. And that's and to be honest with you, that's typical. It's not just typical here, but it's typical anywhere else you go. Everything is pretty much phased because you're limited to funding, and this is a collection. You know, it's based on collection over a period of time. So, yeah.
Okay. I just, seems like I remembered when you were doing your presentation earlier, very detailed presentation that you guys did. There was $3 million for Jones Pool, and I was wondering what in the world if Jones Pool was going to take $3 million. But I just hate to see a facility that's been closed for 2 years, and for it to have to sit. I mean, splash pad there or fill it in. I mean, I think it's just. Anyway, that's, I won't get off on my pool tangent, you know how I can be. One more question I do want to ask, though, just to make sure I understood. The South Augusta Water Park, I know that there was $5 million dedicated years ago, but there's none in it this year. Is that correct?
For the South Augusta Water
Right,
Park?
I know that there was a request for $2 million more to be added to it, but I don't believe that got added to it. So there's no additional money for the South Augusta Water Park this year.
There's $5 million.
That's May Park above it, isn't it?
No, I think there's already $5 million.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but
But no, from here, there's no additional.
there's no additional, and that's what I was thinking. Thank you.
Yes,
All right.
that's true.
All right, thank you, Ms. Linda. We got Commissioner from District 1, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I would also request that $5 million for May Park be moved into the facility revitalization initiative as well. Because I think it's needed down there, it's needed at May Park, but I want to give you all the discretion to use it how you see fit at that center, because $5 million isn't enough for a new gym or anything like that, from what I understand. So I think having it in a general pot is going to be helpful. I'll take your guidance otherwise, but another thing. So the soccer park, I see there's $8 million that was requested. Has anything been given? Has it is any money going to the soccer park out of this SPLOST? Or was the 8.6 not, was it not agreed upon?
It was recommended to take that out.
It was recommended to take it out, okay. All right, the lock and dam, $3 million. Can you give me a little idea of what that plan is for the lock and dam? Because if I'm not mistaken, there's funds out that will be allocated to the lock and dam through I don't want to say the wrong fund, but I know there's another pot of money that could be used for the lock and dam. What are the $3 million here specifically for?
I thought it was for bathrooms and pavilions.
For the lock and dam, there's site work that has to be done there, shelters, benches, the whole area needs a whole lot of work. It just needs to be a whole,
What's the utilization of that park right now? Is it used?
I can't tell you right off the top of my head.
But was it on your underutilized list? No?
Well, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll move on from that. The Riverwalk and Boathouse reconstruction, $22 million. Can you break that down for me? What is that? Is that the Riverwalk expansion and the boathouse construction?
Well, I think it's part of a planning, design, and some construction of Riverwalk. I think the boathouse is also included in that. I think one item that we mentioned in the last meeting we had was Augusta Commons. And maybe some of those funds can possibly go to Augusta Commons. They both intersect with one another.
But it's that $14 million within that 22. Have we seen any plans or a cost estimate for the boathouse that's being proposed? Maybe, Mr. Latson?
I haven't.
No, we have not. Has anyone in finance or administration seen any cost estimates for what it's going to cost to build a boathouse? No? No, sir. Okay. I will put that $14 million in the parking lot until we can get an understanding of how much it's going to actually cost us to do this project. And I think that goes along with the $5 million for May Park that I was talking about. As much as I would like a new facility there, $5 million is not enough. So we can move it around for a little while. But if we don't know how much the boathouse is going to cost us, I think going in it blindly with just a figure is not going to be helpful in the long run, especially if we haven't seen any construction plans, cost estimates, anything like that. So I would like to see that before we make a decision on funding it to that tune. Where the Riverwalk is concerned, if this is for expanding the Riverwalk east, I would like to see some type of plan for that as well, because I know it's a good concept, but with that comes additional needs for parking and things of that nature as well. So I want to look at this whole Riverwalk comprehensively. Now we're talking about common expansion, which is what we've been talking about for years. And okay, I can see that kind of materializing, but Riverwalk expansion, I think I want to see this 22 million kind of, expanded a little bit. I want to see some more detail on that.
Commissioner, let me mention this, that we're actually working on a master plan for the Riverwalk. The Augusta Commons is also a part of that. And I think as well, Augusta tomorrow actually came and did a presentation, and I think this body actually approved the plan. So we're going to work with them along with the plans that we have. I think the planning itself will be pretty good.
That was for
what we need. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but I always talk about planning, like capital improvement plan, that we can use this this information or this plan, and we can plan for the next 20 years.
Right. But that's only the $8 million for the Riverwalk expansion that we discussed.
Yeah, I mean, going back to phasing would definitely have to be phased.
Okay.
But I think if you're showing that you're making progress, at least show the public that you're making progress. We've completed phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Sure.
I think it'd be.
Yeah. I guess my biggest question is, out of that 22, what is definite right now to complete what you're discussing? What is definite out of that 22 that we need as of right now to satisfy that master plan?
Oh, I think.
Master planning.
Yeah. To satisfy, are you talking about?
You don't have to have an answer today if you don't have it today. We can always bring that back.
Yeah.
That's what
the costs and the phasing and everything will be a part of the plan. The master plan would actually would give that information, show how everything would be phased, how long it would take to pay for it, and it could take 15 years. But just to give you a prime example, I was just looking through the list here, and I looked at some of the engineering projects, and you'll see East Augusta on there. I think it's like in probably some of the final stages, 2 phases that has to be.
Been a while. Yeah.
But that project started back in 2007. We started, Dr. Malik, myself, Steve, we all started those projects back in 2007. And I go back to planning and phasing. This is just how long it took. But why? Because every SPLOST, it was always reduced, and you have to phase it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not uncommon to do that. This is a common thing, not just here. It's on the local level, and if you look at any municipalities, it's on the state level as well.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, I completely agree with you, and I think it makes perfect sense. I guess, and again, I just want to go back to, if we're talking about $14 million for the boathouse, we ought to see the invoice. Like, we ought to know how much that's going to cost. We ought to see some plans before we say, oh, for sure, we're going to just put 14 million towards it. We don't know how much we need. That won't be something that we can phase out, right? You can't build half a building. Second, with the 8 million just for the Riverwalk and just Riverwalk itself, I understand that that would just be for mostly, like, you know, planning and some construction, but mostly just planning out, right?
Well, no, I mean, $8 million would definitely cover planning and I would think design.
Planning and design.
Yeah.
Okay. But how much of that would be for construction?
There may be some funds left over for construction, but it probably won't be enough to really, not even close to, probably not even close to starting, maybe.
How much, okay, all right, I won't go that far. Okay. Trying to see if I have any other questions before I let you go. No, I think that pretty much answers the questions that I have for right now.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Administrator, if you would, we had, when Mr. Lampkin was over Central Service, I think he did some cost analysis on the boathouse. Before we do any changes, let's see if we can pull back the records on that, as well as the Riverwalk. We do have District 4, Commissioner Wimberly in the queue, and then after that, we'll have Commissioner Smith-Rice. Mr. Wimberly, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm gonna jump back on this Riverwalk. Now, I was in a conversation, and I also was listening to a conversation about the Riverwalk improvement. So this $22 million that I'm looking right here, it's just a ruse. It wasn't really to do the work that I was thinking that was going to happen, a new boathouse and an expansion of the Riverwalk. So that was never going to happen with this $22 million, right?
No,
Yes and no.
the Riverwalk, if you really look at the Riverwalk really needs fresh.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It has to be brought up to date. And making a correlation here, if you refer back to the previous presentation we did on utilized and unutilized parks, Riverwalk, I do remember the utilized ones. Riverwalk was one, Augusta Commons, Diamond Lakes. Those parks were, I mean, this is data, those were parks were considered utilized.
Right.
So what does that say? If the data is showing that it's being utilized, then that tells me that, okay, maybe we need to probably be planning or putting some money in SPLOST for those particular projects.
Okay.
Those are your regional and your special purposes park. I think is, maybe I probably shouldn't say it's probably vital to definitely fund those, at least start funding those particular.
So this would be seed funding right here that I'm looking at. This would be like seed funding to start.
At least start and get completed with the planning and design stage.
Okay, planning, designing, and then the next SPLOST, we might be able to add a couple of feet to the Riverwalk and a roof to the boathouse, right? Okay, I got that. Now I could agree with District 2 Commissioner on the 10,000. I was looking at the price of the cost that the fire department has to purchase land for the fire station, which is normally a smaller footprint than purchasing land for a recreation facility. And that land cost him $4,000. That's what he projected. So if you put $4,000 in land with this a new park and community center, you won't be able to build anything for no $6,000.
Is it-
I mean, not thousand, but million, I'm sorry.
No, some of the, are you referring to the $22 million or?
No, I'm looking at the line item here, the $10
million.
$10 million. It's supposed to be for a new park and community center. And so you start taking out the cost for the design and all that good stuff, you're not really gonna get anything built.
No, you probably, it'll probably, if it's a new, if you're wanting a new property, it'll probably cover the property itself and probably planning and design as well. I mean,
Thank you.
And there may be some money for construction as well.
What?
Minimal, okay. So I could agree with Commissioner from District 2, you move that money up there and use it with the facility renovation initiative. And come back with a realistic.
Depends on where you want to, what property is, and
If-
it has to be appraised and that type of stuff. So,
Yeah. Or you come up with a realistic price to build a center, and now you're still talking 5, 6, 7 years out before you actually build it. Yeah,
Most typical projects, I mean, I know a lot of people look at the 5 year, but the 5 years is basically the amount of time it's going to take to kind of fully fund it.
That's true. Okay.
Thank you. Question, Mr. Lanson,
Yes, sir.
is any of these numbers hard, or are they just estimates? Hard factual numbers. They all estimates, is that correct?
All estimates.
Okay, so for us to guesstimate what the boathouse or what the Diamond Lakes Regional Park enhancement, the South Augusta Park, the Capitol Fleming tennis courts, et cetera, that's all estimates. Until we able to do a design, I prefer us to, moving forward, do a design build. That way you deal with one contractor and one person from start to finish, instead of us having no different than the former jailhouse, you're dealing with somebody, 8 different people. You don't know who to pinpoint, saying that's the problem. But as commissioners, we do have a residence in the house, Ms. Geeter, that would like to speak on this matter, since this community getter. Would you like to speak? I probably said your name wrong. I apologize. If you would limit 5 minutes, please.
I'll let him.
State your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Patricia Jeter, 4102 Elders Drive, over in Southwest Augusta. We're here because we want a community center. I know you guys know me. We've requested it on several occasions. We don't have anything, any type of facility over there. And community centers are essential to the infrastructure of a community. When you don't have a community center, it pretty much we fall behind. We're the fastest growing area in Augusta, and I think it's a shame that we don't have any facility for us to even go to. We have to go miles and miles out of the way, or either use Columbia County facilities, and which is not in our community. That being said, community centers, if we were allocated a community center, it would actually bring revenue in the area. As far as jobs, because construction jobs, it actually would enhance the quality of life. It would lower crime, because it would have somewhere for these children to go that not only just live in our community, but live in the surrounding areas of Augusta. So that being said, please consider, please do not remove us from the list, because we really need this facility. I understand, I hear that there's a need for some repairs, but I do think that the commission should consider seizing in on this moment to enhance the fastest growing area in Augusta, which could be a beacon to those who visit Augusta. Consider making regional parks, such as our area, a regional park, and divest, especially Sue Reynolds. It serves us no purpose. It's underutilized. We can't use it. It's unsafe, and it's nothing that you can do. It's going to cost just as much to enhance it than it would to build us a new facility. That being said, a community centers bind communities together, and it also binds us with leadership as well. And it also lowers crime, it enhances property values, and it also increases job revenue in the area, in the city of Augusta. So I'm just asking that you seize in on this moment to actually build us a community center. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Myrna Reed Corker, and I live at 5116 Devon Lane in Elderberry. And as what was being said, I second that. We do need an area. We are the fastest growing in the Augusta area right now. And I noticed that I'm not knocking anything that y'all want to do. I understand the regional and special purposes parks. Yes, those are parks that are what you would call attraction parks. People come from different areas, what have you, they can go to those parks. With saying that you want to upgrade an existing park area, first of all, you have to look at the fact that, yes, there's in certain communities, but are these parks actually being utilized? If they did not tear up yesterday, these parks were in the state that they've been in for quite some time. In that time frame, our area, right there at Fort Gordon, we have been growing. The places that y'all are speaking of right now, I don't want to say is old Augusta, but those areas are places where military folks in the past and other area people moved in. They moved in, they moved out, they did what they did, they raised their family, whatever, and people have left. But right now we are in a different state of mind. We are there at Fort Gordon, Cyber Command, we got these colleges, we are growing. Our area is the hub of the people that's coming to this area to find a place for residence. Therefore, we need to uplift that area, and that should be the main focus. Because if you don't have what is quality for them,
You got 30 seconds left.
you cause them to look elsewhere, and they will start going to Columbia County. The distance for traveling to these other locations is not equitable for us to have a quality of life that we desire. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Some of the challenges that we face behind this dais, and one of the unselfish things that the District 1 Commissioner did, he utilized the money from his own district, from May Park, and knew that there was not enough money to revitalize these other parks. He didn't have to do that, but he wanted to make sure, we represent all of Augusta behind this dais. We just don't represent one certain area. And we realize that we have some parks that needs help. It needs rework. It needs to be brought back up to speed. We need to close down the underutilized parks, no doubt. We need to, get them off our rolls, sell them, et cetera, or have the neighborhoods take them over. But the challenge that we face in here is there's only so much money to do so much with. Y'all in a prime location where y'all live. Your house is actually double plus in value because of your location. You got a Kroger directly across the street. You got any kind of restaurant that people will look. I'm thinking that if that road that's coming across beside Kroger, that's going to be developed. And I'm just saying, if y'all were saying that's the #1 growing area. Well, with growth happens, commercial comes. Y'all a perfect example. The reason why we love to have houses is because it attracts commercial. But behind here, behind the dais, what we got to do is make sure we take care of what we have, get rid of what we don't use, and try to put things in this package to where we could start and finish. What was concerning to me, what ISM owner, A.B. Lancer, was saying, this $10 million would buy the property, do the design, but not enough money to build the building. Then we're going to have to wait 7 years, 6 years, 5 years for the next SPLOST to come out. So that's the dilemma we're in. How are we going to proceed forward? I would like to do a design build dealing with one person, though, Mr. ISM. But we do have a couple other colleagues in the queue. That's District 3, Smith Rice, and then District 1, Commissioner Johnson. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just saw a colleague of mine walk in, thank goodness, right at the right time. Commissioner from the 5th, Don Clark. We're talking about parks. So jump on in the conversation with me.
Well, we got a queue. We got Commissioner Johnson after you.
Okay, well, all right, but I do hear Ms. Jeters and you constituents as well. And I've mentioned this on this dais for a couple of years, that we do need, it is the fastest growing area. It definitely needs in time a community center. And Sue Reynolds is not going to cut it. I'm with you on that. I've been out there, I've talked to Mr. A.B. about it, and I've talked to Ms. Williams about it. And we know the location is not a great location now for Elderberry and the many subdivisions that are out in the area. I will continue, and I'm sure my colleague from the 5th, and we do, like Commissioner Wayne, Mayor Pro Tem said, we have some decisions that we need to make, but I am keeping in mind, and I've told you this for a couple of years, about a park in the area, not just a park, but a community center that you all can utilize. And I've been talking it up, so I don't want y'all to give up hope, but do know that we will do our best. Can't promise, but we'll be doing what we can. And I know that my colleague here from the 5th, when he gets a chance, he'll speak too, that we are going to be working hard for you to eventually get you a community center. You've got a lot going on. So please hear me. Thanks. Mayor Pro Tem, I got one quick question, and then I'll leave. I was going to ask Parks and Recs, what is when you've got under here, it says Augusta Sports Courts. What is that? What is the sports courts?
So that's the, resurfacing, you need to be any restriping of any like basketball courts, tennis courts.
Okay. And Newman Tennis Center, I didn't see it on here.
What did you say?
Newman Tennis Center, I see Fleming Park Tennis Courts, but is Newman part of this, then Augusta Sports Courts, or where are we on Newman Tennis Center?
If Newman itself is a separate project, SPLOST 8 project, we're in the final design of Newman, so that's scheduled to be finished, I want to say in January, at the end of January, and that would be phase 1 of Newman. But if something needs to be done, or some improvements need to be done in any of these parks as it relates to courts, or any type of courts, those funds should be capital-wide, could be pulled out of these.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Items, yeah.
All right, we got Commissioner Clark and then Lewis. You out? All right.
Got Johnson
apologize.
first.
Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm sorry.
You're just fine, sir. 2 questions. How much does a new community center / like a park, like a Henry Brigham would cost for that West Augusta side, the West Augusta 6 side of town? How much would that cost? Just a quick estimate.
Well, I can tell you that I was informed, that even when Brigham was built, it was already underfunded. And so.
Current Brigham?
The current.
Okay.
And so that was even leading up to additional work that needed to be done, almost $14 million.
14 in additional dollars or 14
No,
all in total?
In total.
Okay. Because, I mean, originally, if I'm not mistaken, we allocated somewhere around $20 million or something like that for Brigham at one point in one SPLOST, I think. It was close to $20+ million. Am I tracking? Okay, all right. I've been wrong. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, so anywhere between that $15 million ballpark.
About $14 million.
Okay.
14, 15 million.
Now, this is a little off track, so Mayor Pro Tem, reel me in if you have to, but I just have to ask, where are we with the sewage tie-in for that side of town? And I know that's not a, are you working on that, or was that something like engineering was doing? The sewage tie-in or something on that side of town? We could put that on a different agenda. We don't have to go down there today. Okay. I want to ask that question. I'll get with Commissioner Clark, and we'll get that answer. I want to hit on the Riverwalk real quick, and I'm going to pass the cue because I know there's probably more conversations on this. I sat in the presentation yesterday, and what was said was that about 40% or more of the workforce today is made up of folks in the Gen Z generation. And Augusta desperately needs folks in that generation working. When they are in college, they get out of college and stay here. One of the issues that Augusta's having is that when they move here, they don't when they come here for college, they don't stay here. So why am I bringing this up? Because when we're talking about the Riverwalk, I keep going back to this Riverwalk. When we talk about the Riverwalk, is a destination, but we treat it as a park, right? We just treat it as an extension of a walking trail. And since we're talking about it and you talked about planning, I want to reiterate that Riverwalk ought to be a destination for housing, for retail, for entertainment. People should want to come from all over the world to see that Riverwalk. And right now, I think it served its original purpose, but in your planning, please incorporate the wow factor that our Riverwalk needs. We need access to the water. We need access to retail, to housing, to keep that 40% of the workforce. It's about high 30s, low 40s in Richmond County. We want to keep them in Augusta. And we understand like the infrastructure needs that we're trying to address across the county, but with that Riverwalk, it is such a missed opportunity. It's a park right now. I like it, but we can do more. So please incorporate that in your project planning as well, okay? And then just for the record, Dr. Malik, if you could get us information about that sewage tie-in for the West Augusta District 3 side, I just want to get some information about where we are with that since we're talking about investing in that side of town. But we'll get that. Okay, that'll be West. Okay, well, we'll get that. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got 24 minutes left in this session. After Commissioner Clark, we're going to jump down to infrastructure so we could have Director Wes Bynes and Dr. Malik. But Commissioner Clark, you have the floor.
All right. Just so y'all know, he put that 24-minute timer up for me. That notification. So, all right. Hey, so first of all, I was listening to the conversation as I was en route and before. So I think it's been said and it's clearly been established. When it comes to these numbers that we have on here, they're estimates. We can go back years and years of projects. The number that was identified is really an estimated kind of cost to get started towards something. But to your point, you may come up with that number, but later on you realize it's going to need additional funding. And it's no different from this new community center concept. But let's put some color to this. How soon would we even get to the point of even establishing, breaking ground on starting on any of these projects, specifically a new community center?
I think it would depend on how quickly the funds,
right,
the taxes are collected, and
right,
how it's actually normally the way I've normally seen it here and prior to coming here is on a 5-year you may have planning and design for 2 to 3 years, you're collecting on that.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe like your 4th or 5th year, then you collect on construction. So as far as breaking ground, at the earliest you can probably start would probably be 6 or 7 years out.
So 6 or 7 years out. If we skip a project, let's say we're on SPLOST 9, right? And let's say we say, hey, we're not going to do something on SPLOST 9's project. We're going to move to SPLOST 10. What would be the gap in that?
Well, the gap in it would be, it would push it out probably another 6 or 7 years because
Exactly.
you're not working on the planning and the design part.
Yeah.
Normally, your planning and design takes longer than construction.
Sure.
It costs less, and then your construction costs more, but is constructed in a shorter period of time.
Now, the 10 million number, who came up with the $10 million number for the new community center? Do you know, you all remember who presented that number?
I think initially, we had a lower number, but it came from the commission to do 10 million.
Yeah, I mean, because 5 million, I think we've already said 10 million probably is low. If we started with 5, it would be even lower, right?
Because Henry Brigham was like 14 million.
Okay, so that's kind of our number range, say 10 to 15 million for a new one.
If you include everything, because I think from what I'm understanding and what I'm hearing, you want to purchase, you don't want the same location.
Right.
So which means that you have to purchase property. So that's gonna be an added.
Well, and I think we got to do a feasibility study on that too to even determine.
Where you want to.
Exactly. So, but again, the lure and the attractiveness is finding locations and property that we own right out, or determining some kind of cost-efficient way of acquiring the property as well. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is this. You know, we talk about growth, we talk about sustainability, and Ms. Williams, you got to bear on your hands with just even managing sustainability of the facilities we have. We got a lot of them that are in disrepair and have been for some time. How much do we have allocated in the standard budget towards maintaining and upgrading? Do you know?
I have to go back and get the number.
Like $1 million. I think it's a little bit over $1 million from what I've seen.
Just $1 million for all of them.
It's right at, I think it's between 1 and 1.2 million.
Okay, all right.
I have to double check, but I think yes.
Okay, so one thing, and I'll get to the point. This section of Augusta has 2 vitally growing communities, District 3 and District 5 residents that really are undeserving of something. And removing that placeholder as an opportunity for continued growth and enhancement would be a tremendous disservice to this area. We do have to clean up our other parks. We do have to upgrade them, but we also have to go with the amount of time and money that we've spent on determining which ones we need to close or keep. So we got a lot of juggling that we're doing, but it doesn't mean that we tell a community, you need to wait another 12 years before we're ready to break ground on doing a community center. Yeah, that's pretty selfish in that regard, especially when we're front-loading a aspirational dream for a water park that we're not going to own, but we're saying we're dangling some money to say, hey, if you're interested, come on in, because Augusta has $15 million that we want to give you towards it. I'd rather see that as a more beneficial use of dollars towards giving the community members who are divesting their dollars into making this a reality for whatever, as opposed to taking that money as a aspirational dream of a water park. I'm not saying that a water park's not great, but don't sacrifice the wants and needs of the residents that really are deserving of one because we want to go after something that is kind of pie in the sky. Because how long have we been trying to get the water park?
I think it will.
I mean, I'm not trying to put y'all on the spot, but let's just talk facts on it.
It was approved in SPLOST 8. So
yeah. So again, and in SPLOST 8, it was approved, and we haven't moved
I think they're in the process of looking for.
Exactly. And I don't even remember when we voted on changing this to 15 million. Did we vote on that? To add 15 million to the 5 million that was set aside for the water park?
No, it's not in here.
Okay.
It's not in here.
Okay. So it's just the 5 million still?
Right.
You're right. All right. Because I kept hearing 15 million, which probably put my pedal down even further when I was like, when did we do that?
Yeah, I think I see that it was $15 million is close, it's addressed.
All right.
That's right below it. Yeah.
Okay. So again, we need to leave the dollars that we have for this new community center where they are. If we need to kind of re-shift and address some numbers, then let's do that. But let's not take it away from the residents that are really deserving of having something out there. Last time I had a community meeting out there, it was in a fire station room that would maybe hold 20 people. And the only other options that we have is taking folks to, well, Sue Reynolds not even an option, but taking them to Henry Brigham or other areas. So let's not take that out from the residents. Let's look for the way to keep it on here, but let's also kind of make sure that we follow through on whatever it is we're trying to do for this water park concept. The other piece that I had a question on, okay, that was it. Yeah, well, yeah. Please let's definitely not move away this new park concept. Community members are too deserving of it, and they've been waiting for a long time for it. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. Mr. Lanson.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you look at this? Let's think outside the box. There's a quarter facility improvements for the tune of $7,067,000. Since we had a swimming pool that's been shut down for 2 years, we can't even maintain or upkeep the swimming pools we have. You always have to have staff there overseeing it for the safety of our children and the adults that attends there. Why don't we look at, see if there's a cost savings, if we could just fill them in and put in splash pads. It's a safer, less maintenance, and use that extra money for this community center if possible. All right? Just think outside the box on that. But we need to move to the infrastructure side, if y'all don't mind. That way we could capture Wes and...
Mayor Pro Tem, I got one more question to the administrator real quick.
Okay.
Where did we go with the ask that we submitted to Destination Augusta? They were supposed to be leading the effort for...
They are. They actually put the information out, and they're waiting for the respective responses to come back in.
Okay, so they started putting it out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but they haven't gotten any responses?
Haven't gotten responses back yet.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And Commissioner Guilfoyle,
Yes,
can I
ma'am.
ask if there are consensus? I know y'all discussed a couple of options. And I'm not sure, do y'all have a consensus for the not doing the park, the new park? Is that a consensus
Just-
not to do that?
Yeah,
or-
let's just set that on, bring it forth, because the whole body's going to be approving all this. We can't make a motion here, so,
Okay.
all right?
So just leave everything where it currently is. I just want to make sure so we know.
Just a
that-
side note, like what you had done on other requests.
Okay, just
put a
leave it.
side note
Okay.
that Commissioner Johnson had recommended, and I appreciate Mr. Johnson doing that.
Okay.
All right, let's
Mayor
look
Pro
at the
Tem.
infrastructure.
Mayor Pro Tem, before you leave,
Oh, I apologize, Ms.
that's all right. I didn't hear what you said about taking the underutilized pools in the area and putting, putting,
Splash pad.
and so we'll have to come back and vote on that, right? If we're going to, we want to do that, because I know there is a park and a pool is not being used because it's not safe to use, and there are people that's waiting on Jones Pool to be repaired. So before, I don't want us to
No,
run with it.
Okay.
Okay.
AB is going to just crack some numbers and see where it's at. All right. Thank you, Ms. Scott. All right, on our infrastructure, we have $1,965,000 set aside for a couple different entities.
So we're going to infrastructure, sir? Or we're
Yes,
gonna do
ma'am.
facilities?
Infrastructure,
Okay.
and then we're going to shut this meeting down.
Okay.
We got to 4 o'clock. We don't need a quorum, it's a workshop. That's the reason why we can't make a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, Commissioner Johnson.
Before we move to infrastructure, can I add one additional thing about Jones Pool?
Oh, absolutely. Ask who?
I just want to put out there that that is a historic pool, and so with whatever AB brings back, I want them to keep under consideration the historic nature of Jones Pool. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. AB, did you capture that? Yes, sir. All right, thank you. All right, engineering, I guess I'm going to be up first. Madam Administrator.
All right, we have Dr. Malik is here to address any concerns, questions.
Good afternoon. So, you can see, we started with engineering request was 178.7 million, and we narrowed down to 93.2, and then there was some consensus, or at least some recommendation that it has to be around 80 million. So that's what we scale it down to 80 million. Really, there's no new request. It's the ongoing activities engineering has in each and every spot. One other thing I do wanted to bring it to attention that my goal is to really close out the projects been in the pipeline for quite some time, like East Augusta, Wilson Gordon. We have a few other, Rocky Creek is there. We have some drainage studies going on, like National Air, Forest Hill, Turpinel area, and all that. So I can go in more detail, or I can answer the question. But out of that 80 million, really 42 million which is standard maintenance work for the grading, drainage and grading, and the road paving on that. And then we have staff funded through the SPLOST, but listed as engineering administration, but there really is a workforce who perform the maintenance work. They are part of the engineering maintenance. So that's what.
All right. Dr. Malik, as far as the Rocky Creek, there was already set aside money from the previous SPLOST to make a pond, make a park there, and then actually carry that through, coming all the way down, I guess, to Hyde Park. Is that correct? The way the drainage road falls?
Yes, sir. So it starts going to be Nolan Connector, Highland Avenue. We're going to have, not Highland, North Flag, some flood control structures there, and then we're going to have down the back of the Genesee Mall where the is a flood control ponds, we can call it, but really it's going to have recreational features built into that. So
when is that supposed to be taking place?
So that is going to the permitting, and there is the money, as Commissioner indicated. So this ask is to just fund that, fully fund. So we go into construction probably another year or so. So it will be in this spot. So as I mentioned, East Augusta has still 3 remaining phases, and St. Wilson Garden is ongoing on that, Rocky Creeks. So with this plus 9, engineering should be able to close these projects, or they won't show up, and that's plus 10 requests and all that. So there's no new requests really. The only new request is what this body previously discussed. Is Alice Street is only 500,000 just to make sure that that project stay active on that list. Yeah.
All right. So you satisfied with what you're being given in this SPLOST package?
Yes.
Awesome.
If the process 5 years, yes, sir. But if it go beyond 5 years, we may not have enough money for like grading and drainage on that, because that's
my concern. If this package goes over 5 years, we're going to have incidental issues coming up, especially when it comes to West with the water, with his outdated system he has. It's probably 1881 when I worked at Deerfield. system in it. But Dr. Malik, thank you. Anybody have any questions? District 5 Commissioner Clark.
Yep, I just have one question, or two questions. Dr. Malik, help me understand, so traffic operations improvement, traffic safety improvements. Help me understand the difference in the two.
So, what is the traffic safety? Like, we have to do the intersection improvement and all that, the signals, maybe, roundabout, all of the stuff, roundabout is popular, not popular, and I have heard a lot last night about that. But
I was about to say, is that including new roundabout
yeah, that's what we're
proposals as
gonna look
well?
at, because initially we have actually, there's a list, I don't have it made, 12 different locations, and we're gonna narrow down to whatever fits into that. It also help us, like we're working right now over the Bill Haven and that area where we're gonna new signal goes. So there are some funding from the developer, but Augusta is paying almost half or more than that to do that. So so that's what it is, and also some of the needs traffic gonna have in the ITS. Though ITS primarily funded to the TIA, but some of the improvement or the maintenance work through the cameras and all that. Yeah.
So tree management and removal, that's already in your budget for tree management and services, correct?
So that's normally the tree man, normally, that's the only funding source engineering has, and we put each year, each SPLOST for the tree management, which is removal of the tree, pruning the tree, and then we spread it out through like 200,000 something.
Right, but tree removal, management, and otherwise is in your budget currently, right?
Not in the general fund budget.
It's not?
I don't think it's there. Yeah.
No? I thought we had hired a arborist and all that kind of stuff.
No, those are the commissioner, or the area maintained by the contract.
Okay, so we're doing that through contract.
Yeah, this is the engineering workforce or some other, so it specifically is for the tree removal for the safety reason and trimming and all of this.
All right, last thing, the administration engineering. Give me a quick kind of rundown of that, just a real quick one, because I don't want to take up all the time.
I just stated earlier, so we have engineering has a workforce in engineering maintenance at Tobacco Road. They are funded through the SPLOST. So is their salaries, some, their operation safety, gears, all of that stuff, it comes to that.
Okay. Ms. Allen, let's get together on some of those different costs and everything, because I know we're using a number of different ways of funding this through stormwater and otherwise as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. This group is around 1.5 million average per year, and that's what based on 5. And there's some carryover fund. That's kind of my projection. So that's what is going to make up the carryover.
I'll get with the administrator and you to get more clarity on these.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we got District 2 Commissioner Ms. Pulliam.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, Dr. Malik. I have a few questions. For Rocky Creek and Wilkinson Garden, is that going to complete those projects, those amounts?
Yeah, so that's what, yes, ma'am. So this money should enable engineering to complete those projects. So Wilkinson Garden, we are working on the bid package to get it out for construction. Rocky Creek is still in the Corps of Engineer permitting phase, but once that's done, really it's gonna go fast to finish up the rest of the plan.
Okay, but this will complete the projects?
That's what the projection right now, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. As far as the drainage improvement studies supplement, is that tied into the flood study that we were doing in, what was that, like the Turpin Hill 2 area?
Yeah, so Turpin Hill, we also have a National Hill area. We are in Part 2. We already finished the Eisenhower to Alexander Drive, and right now working on that. We also, Turpin Hill is all from Arden to Riceboro Road, Lenny Walker, all that area. But Turpin, that Steiner Avenue
yes,
is the primary focus right now. So we're doing it's gonna be done in phases, like East Augusta. I guess that's easy to understand because the money is gonna need. So that's what we're working on. National Grid right now, our primary focus is around Brantford Road area because that's the receiving ad that goes into Windsor Code and then goes through that school across and get back into the Ridge Creek.
Okay, is this going to touch, is any of this flood study going to touch Walden Drive? There's been flooding in that area. I think that might be under utilities, though. I'm not sure. I know there was some storm water. There was some flooding in that area. Every time it rains, it floods into some of the houses and the businesses. And then where my, like, Virginia Avenue and all of those avenues are, there's a lot of flooding. So their parking lot, where their townhomes and then houses, there's a lot of flooding there as well. So my question is that going to cover all of our hot spots for flooding?
So it will not cover $1 million, not enough, but it's enough to continue the work on that, and then we'll keep adding money to do all that. So, but that area I was not aware. We do have regional pond right off Walden Drive.
Yes, sir.
So I will look into that and what's causing that flooding. But there is a regional pond right there to receive all the water. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that we are, I know that there's a lot, and there's a lot that has to be done. I understand that. But to be scared, and I said this a million times, every single time it rains, because your house is going to get flooded, your business is going to get flooded, and that's a vast majority of my area. So I'm very concerned about that, and I want to make sure that we're addressing the flooding that's happening in the area. And I know that you are putting these projects forward. I just want to make sure that we are keeping that top of mind, because can you imagine your house flooding every single time it rains? That's not a great feeling at all. And then in addition to that, the flood control structures, compliance and maintenance, how does that tie in with the drainage improvement, or does it tie in at all?
So,
like, is that all together?
No, that money is needed to take care of the structure and the levee because they are old. And we have a Category 1 dam, which is we call Lake Almond. It crosses Walton Way, and there's a cross culvert that need repair.
Okay.
And then Riceboro Road is another one, so that's what this money is for. So.
Okay, thank you for explaining that, because I didn't know. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, we got, thank you, Ms. Pulliam. We got District 9 Super, Ms. Scott.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. My question is really for utilities, Mr.
Okay. Before we go to utilities, can I make sure that Commissioner Johnson doesn't have anything for the engineer?
I do.
For the engineer?
Yes, sir.
Can he? Yeah. That way we could let Malik get back to work.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Dr. Malik, I have three questions. Roadway resurfacing. Am I understanding this correctly to not have an allocation, or is that the $5 million? Road resurfacing various roads.
Yeah, so there's that's 20 million right now, so it's roughly like 4 million each year. So I don't know how this is coming out, but 22 is for grading and drainage, and 20 is for the road resurfacing.
Okay, all right. I was just making sure that there is funding there.
So right now, on average, engineering goal is to maintain 6.5 million yearly going into that. But really, we need more than that to even keep the same level of road condition. But that's, so for this one and then pulling some others to, that's what we've been doing for the past few years.
Does that also include like top coating and like paving potholes and stuff like that, or is that just full resurfacing?
Yes, sir. So out of this, every year, we set aside like $500,000 for that kind of work, and if we run out of money, then we allocate more. But that's the way we manage this budget. So we have that set aside $500,000 until we run out of that. Normally, that's sufficient for the pothole and all.
Okay.
For the year, yeah.
Sidewalk repairs and improvements. The original request was $3 million, and you walked away with $500,000. that $500,000 is going to be split between the duration of this SPLOST package, right? And so I don't want to ask you if is that enough, because obviously it's not, but I want to know what is the impact of dropping down to that substantial number for sidewalk repairs and improvements. Are there any other projects going on right now that we could kind of like, connect one need to another to supplement funds, or what is the impact of just going at $500,000 for the sidewalk repairs and improvements? Because I imagine a lot of that is that in your downtown area? Where do you see most of that need?
It's all over the place, but it's just primarily in the city area, not
Okay.
downtown, but even look at around the Central, Monsanto, all that,
Okay.
older sidewalks are there. So this primarily right now will give us, I won't say what's needed, but at least to repair some of the things, but we won't be able to do any new requests like add sidewalk, all that we have to create a project and find some other funding means through GDR or others should do that. Yeah.
Okay. I want to just make a note, Mayor Pro Tem, that we might want to look into trying to help satisfy a little bit more than $500,000 for sidewalk repairs and improvements. I know that ADA is an issue, and a lot of the infrastructure out in South Augusta is aging too. So just want to make a note that we might want to look into helping out somewhere there.
Administrator, you capturing that?
She got it. She catching it.
She's good.
Yes, sir. All right, and then lastly, the East Augusta phases is down by $500,000. What is the main impact on that? Should that be any concern, or are we able to still get the projects done to good standard?
So that will give us enough to ensure that we can get the project in construction, and we may have to find some additional fund, then we work through with GDOT to do it,
Which section is this? Is this your Japonica and Orange area, Sterling Street? What areas are these phases? Cedar.
Top of my head, I don't remember, but it's going to be the next one, which we just finished. It's going to be
I know the next one is Hornsby.
That's probably what
But
it
these phases here, is this the Hornsby phase here, or is this the Sterling and Orange area?
It's
the
probably
Kentucky
going to be
Avenue
the
area.
Hornsby one, next one, and there are previous some funding too. So this is not the total funding. There are some previous funds.
All right, just want to make sure we have enough to finish what we start.
Yeah.
All right, well, those are my questions. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, sir.
Back to sidewalk. So there's two. One is the sidewalk. I'll try to find repair and improvement, and we also have a sidewalk rehab.
Where's that?
So it's down right after drainage improvement, right above tree management.
I got you.
So, yeah. So the way it is, because I'm not sure this body is fully aware. The ADA further requirements, and city has a commitment to address that, and this kind of fulfill that requirement or commitment that we are addressing on regular basis, and we get there, but we need to get there in a couple of years. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Miller. Thank you. Ms. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Can Mr. Blanchard respond to Ms. Pulliam so he could leave? She had a request on the life of a building, jail.
The architect emailed us back, so it's 30-plus years. Basically, the standard is a regular building for a jail. That's the life expectancy for the prefab buildings that we're looking at.
It's 30.
30, he said 30-plus, so
Okay.
30-plus years.
All right.
All right, thank y'all so much. Have a
Yes,
great
sir.
day.
Thank you, Mr. Blanchard. All right. Ms. Scott, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. My question is for Director Bynes about the South Augusta sewer connection. I think you and I talk to Mr. Oliver every other month about getting the connectivity over on the west side as well. So this is just saying South Augusta. Could we or will this include Mr. Oliver area over in west, because it's now south because of the redistricting of that area?
Yes, ma'am. The area in West Augusta around the Bel Air corridor has been one of the priorities for years. As you know, I think the last cost estimate we took up was about $25 million. And what I'm looking for in this SPLOST is to get additional funding to extend those sewers. What we're doing right now is we're still wrapping up some of the hurricane repair work and applying for select grants and loans and forgivable funds that might allow us to divert some of the funding that was going towards those tasks back to the road linear construction projects that were originally slated to be built with that money. And so going forward, I hope by spring, it's going to be late spring, I'm going to have a clearer idea of which one of the linear projects we can start to push forward. And with this particular project, this is the expansion around the corporate park in South Augusta. You know, it's a needed project. West Augusta project is needed as well. It's the largest unsewered pocket we have left in the system. But I'm willing to be flexible about how those funds are allocated if we start on one, start on the other. Both of them have got a price tag of around $26 million. So this would be the first phase going into those. We're dedicated to getting it done. It's just, we've got to just assess where we are coming out of this next grant phase and see how much money we receive versus what we have to do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. West, I had brought this up earlier before Commissioner Clark had came in, is that unforeseen with your outdated infrastructure. What are you foreseeing in the near future? I know that you have been doing preventive maintenance, but that can only last so long. I know you got to put calibrators on the motors to make sure the bearings don't overheat or wear out, et cetera. What are you foreseeing in the near future?
Sure, we certainly do all of that. We routinely maintain, pull, and we actually rewind our own pumps in shop, utilities department, do all of our heavy mechanical work with that. So you were mentioning the pumping station. Of the 6 pumps there, we've rebuilt 2 of them.
Right.
The third one just came back online today. We've taken a bid on another diesel pump. The additional bay was around 1.8 million. It's actually been, you know, we're waiting on it to be delivered now pending the award when we get to the next commission cycle. So we're routinely replacing those things, but what you're seeing is there's a lot of expense. We've spent about 1.1 million on the 2 diesels in this past year. And with those items, they are older pumps. It's not like it used to be where things lasted forever, but a lot of the mechanical components you simply can't order. The lead time on fuel transfer pumps was about 3 months. So we're going to upgrade those to commodity engines and move forward with it. The ask that we have in here is going to be retasked slightly. The bulkhead gates, as I mentioned, is the drainage structure that controls flooding into downtown. Utilities is tasked with operating and maintaining that structure. Our FERC license dictates that we go forward with that project. And so we're going to start pushing forward on systematic components to getting it ready for repair and putting it out for bid. So I may resubmit that as a general water and sewer to support these projects such as Commissioner Scott was asking about, because it's one pot of money. If it goes to this project or goes to that project, I just need to allocate everything accordingly. But it's absolutely a project that has to go forward and is needed.
Yes, sir. All right, we got Commissioner Clark, and then we're gonna, if nobody else have any questions, we're gonna shut it down.
All right. Hey, Wes, for the South Augusta sewer connections, is that including some of those areas in District 3 and District 5 in that Jimmy Diaz Bel Air corridor?
That's what Commissioner Scott was referring to. That is not included in that. Again, if we wanted to mix the allocation and split it towards, or if we wanted to say general sewer connections, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's targeted towards that Little Spirit Creek development as it expands out that direction. And that was a request just to try to spur growth.
Yeah.
Obviously, bringing more people onto the sewer system increases revenue as well. So if we wanted to allocate it either way, I'm okay with it.
What would be I know at one time we talked numbers about what would be the total cost needed to really just get us out of septic across the entire county?
There's the Bel Air corridor alone is around 26 million.
Yeah.
There's isolated pockets in the city still, but they are usually less than 20 residences. Bad topography areas that were difficult to sewer when they were constructed. There's own septic. The cost per house would be very large for those items. But the Bel Air area is the last big one. And so there's one or two others, and we're going to be working on Travis Boykin through the CDS grant that we got from Senator Warnock's office. That is finally making its way through the pipeline. And so that's going to be a good one. Going to do some water mains as well with that.
Yeah.
So,
Let me ask you and maybe Ms. Allen, have we looked at leveraging our ask with our federal leaders on additional funding? I'm sure each year we probably are, right? Have we received any from any of those? So have we received any funds from any of those requests?
we have in the past, we received $4.8 million towards water and sewer, and the Hicks intake relocation study were two of our big projects that we landed. As competition has increased and the CDS process has kind of grown smaller, the asks have been dwindled down. They've said to be strategic, they need to be under this size for infrastructure projects. The money has moved into SRF, State Revolving Fund, and with that, that's where it was coming from originally. It's just being retained in that pool now, so it is typically a long-term loan at a low interest rate, sub 2%, 2.3%. And so it's still advantageous given the current inflationary environment, but you know, we are approaching everything right now. There are probably 12 applications out right now out of our division alone.
Yeah, and from a state standpoint, no funds to request, solicit, or otherwise that we could leverage? I mean, I'm sure we're probably hitting it from every end. And
they're limited. They're out there. I've got a 4:30 to discuss one today.
Okay.
So we're working through it. I'm trying to, you know, to basically get those opportunities when they appear.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed if we needed to kind of shift some dollars in from maybe somewhere else towards bolstering this number, because this is going to be the most, probably one of the most ongoing, consistent efforts that you guys are going to undertake.
All right. Thank you. We got Commissioner Pulliam from District 2. Oh, District 1, Commissioner Johnson, and then Ms. Pulliam. And we'll try to leave done.
Every time you say it, I'm gonna keep getting back in the queue. No, I just wanted to add, just I think this has been a very fruitful conversation today. So thank you to administration, to staff, colleagues. I want to just say for the future, and this is more so of a question than a comment, I guess, to legal or to the administration. Say in the future for SPLOST 10, right? Once we get done with this, we decide we want to do an infrastructure SPLOST, or a quality of life SPLOST, or a public safety SPLOST. Do you think that that will help us kind of get to a better place versus piecemealing some of the initiatives that we're trying to do? Or is the way that we've been creating SPLOST packages over the last few years, have they been adequate? And I guess I'm just asking, should we start thinking more around categories for SPLOST, or should we continue down this path of put them all under one? And I guess that's whoever. It's just a thought that came to mind.
We do it now by categories, Commissioner. So that's why we haven't broken down like the infrastructure and stuff. But it depends on the governing body as to what you want to make your focus and priority.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, because like what West was just saying, 20-something plus $1 million just for one item, right?
Yes, sir. I see.
That could go here, but we're spreading it out in other places. So like in the future, would it be more advantageous of us to do an infrastructure SPLOST and then do a public safety SPLOST, and then maybe that'll shorten it down from 5 years for one SPLOST to maybe a couple years SPLOST, and then you pick back up within the next time frame? That doesn't have to be discussed now. I'm just throwing it out there just for consideration, because I hear that there's a lot of need, but if we're allocating money across multiple sectors, I don't think we're ever going to get caught up. So that's just throwing it out for food for thought.
And to Commissioner Johnson's point, you're right. It's so many needs in Augusta at this time as part of infrastructure and everything else with engineering. And it's hard because, again, we started out with over $1 billion in projects. And I'm definitely sure that there were needs that were needed to be done and take care of some of the needs of Augusta. Unfortunately, now we're at the point where we have to do this and have all of this approved by January so that we can get this on the ballot. And so we have to ask you, the governing body, do y'all want to keep with the 400-something million, which is almost 7 years, or if you want to reduce it, which it's kind of hard because it seems like I hadn't heard any reductions today, but if you're going to reduce it to get to that 5-year period, because I think to Dr. Malik's point earlier, it works for him if we have it in 5 years, and it works a little better for us because our goal is to kind of do things and get things completed. To Mr. Latson and Wes's point regarding some projects, they do have to be phased in, but as long as you can identify what's going to be completed, what phase is going to be completed within that 5 year, the constituents are good with. It's the fact when they don't know it's a phase that's supposed to be completed in that 5 years that causes them to have questions with how we do things.
Do we have limitations on the term of how far out a SPLOST can go? So is there such thing as a 2-year SPLOST or a 3-year SPLOST?
Yes, sir. Some people do those things as well.
Because I think a lot of the $1 billion ask just comes from folks knowing that they only got a short window to ask and then they're not gonna get anything else later. So I mean, I think just again, for future reference, just food for thought, that could potentially be good for us. It shortens the window and it gives us time to finish our food and then come back for more. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Madam Administrator, would you be kind enough to shoot everybody a copy of this and give them a little short footnote about what has transpired today? Our goal is to actually try to figure out how to cut $93 million out of this package to get it down to $350,000. It's going to be another tough task in order to be able to maintain, to get up underneath that 5-year window. That was the only way it's going to, I'm worried about the future of some of these incidentals. It'll give the opportunity for some of the commissioners up here to actually do another SPLOST before they get out of office, and y'all will actually bring experience to the next SPLOST package. But if it goes out further, y'all won't. So if y'all would be kind enough, to look through these lists and what we need and what we don't need. Madam Administrator, I believe this concludes our meeting, and thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Oh, take a picture quick.
Thank you, Wes.